G'day, I'm Simulated Erk and welcome to another episode of Simulated Erk Train Sim World. It has been quite some time, but we are back. We're in the we are in the new Simulated Erk studio. I've been recording some episodes of Train Simulator, getting everything set up back to the way that it was in my previous Simulated Erk studio. This episode is being recorded in August 2020, and today, a little bit earlier today, as I'm recording this episode, I recorded an episode of Simulated Erk Train Simulator over the same route that we'll be going on today, the Caltrain route between San Francisco and San Jose. So I wanted to do a direct comparison between the two games using basically the same route. Train Sim World is a lot newer than Train Simulator, and if you would like to see that particular episode to compare, you can SimulatedErkGaming.com. It's episode 45 of Simulated Erk Train Simulator, or I'll put a link in the description. I might even try one of those YouTube trickies where I say point up here, even though I haven't got my camera on, point up here, and then there will be a note or something to refer you to the correct location. So we haven't played Train Sim World for quite some time. Train Sim World 2020 as it is at the moment, coming up in a couple of weeks recording time, towards the later stages of August 2020, there will be a new version of Train Sim World, Train Sim World 2. It will feature a German high-speed inner-city express train. It will feature the London Underground with the Bakerloo line, and it will also feature some American freight on the East Coast. So let's get into this particular episode. Just purchased this DLC today, and we are on the Peninsula corridor, San Francisco to San Jose. So let's get into it.
This is Millbrae on the Peninsula corridor. Follow the markers over the footbridge to catch a train.
Okay, so we're at Millbrae, so let's go for a walk. This is the tutorial, so we've got to make sure that we don't run into anybody. I'm using the keyboard to go up here. Follow the markers to platform 3. Hang on, so we'll go up. And we'll go across. We'll continue to follow the markers. This is one of the intermediate stations on the line. It was the first station that I stopped at on the Simulated Erk Train Simulator episode as I just walked into some guy. It was the first station that I actually stopped at, just a little bit to the south of San Francisco. So just using the arrow keys and the mouse to look around. So we will head down to the platform. Now this is an escalator, but it's not animated, so you just have to walk down the stairs, which is fine. Follow the markers to platform number 3. So the trains on this line, as you can see, they are double-deck carriages. There's a loco at one end. What we will do, we'll actually go down and have a look at the other end and show you the cab while we're halfway down the platform. Not a very wide platform. Can I even walk down there? No, it's like there's an invisible wall that I can't. So maybe if we try going this way. No, it wants me to go ahead and just not go into free roam mode at the moment, which we can always do later on. So as always, the graphics are awesome. I'm getting a bit of choppiness in the sound, which seems to be usual with me with Train Sim World. Here we go. follow the markers onto the train. Okay, so it wants me to get on the train here. So we're on, oops, hang on. E, climb up the steps. It wants us to get in with the passengers. Okay, find a seat. Click. Find a seat. Find an available seat. Do you reckon I can find an available seat? E, we'll sit in the passenger seat.
The doors are about to close.
Peninsula Corridor offers the ability to ride and drive both passenger and freight trains through the extensive urbanization of the San Francisco Bay Area. You are currently riding in a double-deck gallery car on a southbound service. These and all trains on the line are serviced at the Central Equipment Maintenance and Operations Facility. Train Sim World allows you to ride and drive trains from a selection of internal and external camera angles. Let's take a look now by exploring the exterior of this train.
Enter the exterior camera view. How do I do that? That's what you should be telling me, Mr. Tutorial. Enter the exterior camera view. How do I enter that? Do I press escape? Now, it should be telling me how to enter the external camera view. How do I do that? It's been a while since I've actually played this game. Let's have a look out the window for a moment. The graphics in Train Sim World are fantastic. The pardon me, the user interface is apparently getting an upgrade in Train Sim World 2. So clicking on the mouse buttons doesn't help. I'm at the edge of the screen there. Do I press keyboard? Do I press up here where it says external camera, or do I just sit back and enjoy the scenery and then hopefully after a while it'll actually prompt me? So let's enjoy the view for a moment and I'll find out exactly how you enter external camera view. Okay, I found that I had to press number 3 to get that camera, so explore the exterior view. Okay, so we're exploring at the moment. Where are we?
Other internal and external camera views are available to be explored. These can be accessed from the number keys.
You could have told me that 5 minutes ago, dude, but anyway, we're having a look, and I've got to say that the graphics on Train Sim World are fantastic, nice and detailed. So we'll go for a walk. Return to first person view, so I'll press 1. Here we go.
You've only travelled a short distance here, so let's take a look at what else there is to enjoy.
Okay, so let's go and have a look.
Welcome to the Bay of San Francisco. Take on the challenge of keeping a busy commuter service to schedule. Maintain the local construction industry with delivery of much needed materials. Enjoy the beauty of a sunset departure from San Jose Diridon, or service the hard-working train fleet maintained at the depot near Santa Clara. Along the way, be sure to place route maps, update tourist information, bring more ticket machines into use, and ensure public safety through additional no trespassing signs. Choose passenger or freight operations and take a tour along the Peninsula corridor.
So far just having a look at what I've done so far. With all the other Train Sim World things that I've done, I'm somehow level 7. And I'm halfway through level 0 on the Peninsula corridor. We haven't actually driven a train yet, but let's try and change that, shall we? So we'll continue our journey with more of an introduction into the train, shall we? I've got to say, I do like the voice of the guy doing the tutorial on this occasion. We'll see how detailed the tutorial is. It will flick through the various Train Sim worlds, as we can see on the screen ahead of us. I haven't kept up to date and purchased all of the various DLCs, but there are quite a few now. And of course, I'm really looking forward to Train Sim World, especially to drive the London Underground, the Bakerloo line. You'll be able to drive the entire Bakerloo line, and right on command, there we go. There's the London Underground, the ICE train, and of course going back to some American freight as well. So the evolution of train simulation right on cue. I was thinking about purchasing the Canadian route. There's a Canadian route on there as well, but considering that I'd already just driven this route on Train Simulator, I thought, why not? Here we are. So let's get into it. Like, I could do a bit of a clone at the front. Alright, Mr. Voiceover person, what are we doing? Oh, you're not going to tell me. I'm just going to have to find out for myself, aren't I? No, here we go.
Welcome to this F40PH-2 Cat diesel electric locomotive in Caltrain livery hauling Nippon Sharyo gallery cars. This brief introduction will cover passenger operations and recovery from an emergency stop. Climb aboard to get started.
Okay, so walkie up the ladder. Oops. So we'll climb. I'm not sure how you're supposed to, like, now this is ridiculous. I'm at ground level, and unless there's a key switch, maybe I activated that, but I don't think so. How can I, if we take a step back, how can I open that door from ground level? Unless it's worked that, unless that's a switch there. So we'll climb the steps and we'll go into the cab.
A lot of time will be spent in the engineer's seat.
Oh, thank you, Captain Obvious. Alright, engineer's seat. They drive on the right in America, so we'll sit in the seat. There we go.
The locomotive's auxiliary systems are now ready to be energized.
Okay. So set the engine run switch to on. Just the thing, I'm going to have to learn all in another world. I'm going to have to learn all this for myself on a real diesel train soon. Set the control a fuel pump switch to on. Set the generator field switch to on.
Give a quick glance of the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Okay. That's a window. I probably should have closed the door, shouldn't I? Oh, hear the difference in the noise with having the door closed. Now what am I doing? I'm opening and closing passenger doors, which from memory, which they haven't told me. Okay, you unlock the right hand side. You press tab key to get to this point. Okay, I've unlocked the doors. Now the little timer up on the left hand side is going. I didn't think that was actually the driver's job, but apparently it is. Are we supposed to stick our head out the window and look, or are we just relying on the conductor? Let's see what happens.
It's time to get going. Set the doors to locked.
So tab, lock right. Okay, I've locked the doors.
The reverser is used to set the direction of travel.
So, reverser neutral. Yes, reverser forward.
The automatic brake is used for normal line operations.
Oh yes, this interface. Automatic brake to the release position. Cut off valve to in. Cut off valve to in.
Increase the throttle to start moving. Do not apply too much power too quickly.
3 notch. Okay, let's see. What are we doing here? We are moving.
With the train now moving, use the throttle and the brakes to reach and maintain the indicated speed.
Okay, so we'll crank up the speed a little bit more. So I haven't changed my unit of measurements into miles per hour. So let's see how many notches we're straight into 8 notch. Here we go, we're going alright. Driving under the speed limit, you get XP for that, okay. So the indicated, so track speed must be about 110, just judging by the gauge on the right there. Got some green lights coming up. In 1.5 kilometres, or just over 1 kilometre, we go back to an 80 zone. Now, if you are hearing choppiness in the audio, that's a common complaint.
Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce engine stress and maintenance requirements.
So throttle back slowly, idle, there we go. So now we're just coasting.
This locomotive features a manually lapped brake system. To operate the brakes, move the handle into service to achieve the desired pressure or braking rate, and once a desired pressure is reached, move the handle into lap to maintain it. Move the handle back to release to reset the system.
Okay, so move the handle back to release. Yeah, I'm in release. Let's put it back into release. Okay. Stop at...
Apply a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable, safe stop.
Hang on, no, that's not going to be nowhere near enough. Oh, I braked way too late. Oh, we ain't stopping there. Braked way too late. I overshot the required stop at location. Let's try again. That's interesting. I don't think it gave me enough warning actually to stop there at the correct time. It's one thing with the... Because I'm only learning the controls on this, and also because of the way that the mouse and that operates. In the real world, you're not turning your head to know when to operate the brake when you're an experienced driver. You're not turning your head 90 degrees to operate the automatic brake. I'm actually miming even though there's not a camera on me. And, you know, while you're spending valuable time turning your head to the left and figuring out the exact position it wants you to be in, that's eating up valuable seconds. So we'll see what it wants me to do, where it wants me to go back to. Okay, throttle to off. That's probably... Okay, throttle...
This locomotive features a manually lapped brake system. To operate the brakes, move the handle into service to achieve the desired pressure or braking rate, and once a desired pressure is reached, move the handle into lap to maintain it. Move the handle back to release to reset the system.
I've come to a stop. How did I stop that quickly? Well, we need to release the brakes first. We've done that. Now is probably a good time to point out that I've never actually driven a real life locomotive ever. So they probably want us to be higher than, go straight into 8 notch. Because it told me to go into idle or shut off, and so I did. So
Apply a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable, safe stop.
we're slowing down enough. Are we idling? We need to put a little bit more. Now we've stopped. We've put too much brake on. There's no way I should be opening the doors. Look at where I am on the platform. But it's telling me to load passengers, so can we go outside for a minute? Oh, there's no way. I'm not even basically on the platform. I've only got the loco on the platform, that's about it. That's wrong. I've just basically let the passengers out onto the tracks. That's wrong. That should have failed me for doing that. Excuse my shoddy camera work for a second. Look at all that. Look at all that train that's not even on the platform, and they said, oh, that's totally fine, just open the doors, it's all good. No, that to me is an epic fail.
It's time to get going. Set the doors to locked.
That is wrong.
Now try operating the train to the next station without instruction. Be aware that an emergency stop will occur before reaching the next station.
Okay, so brakes off. What I'm actually going to do is do an actual stop on the actual platform and unload the actual passengers. This is like the walk of shame. And again, realistically, I'm not putting my head all the way down in real life to operate these controls, but this is what you have to do to use the idle. So what we're going to do now is unlock the right hand doors. Has it done it? Yes, it has. Now, are the passengers actually doing it? No. But I did unlock the doors. That is a rather nice view. That is rather nice graphics. So let's go back into the cab. Brakes off. A little bit of throttle to start with. We're heading to Mountain View now. And they did say so the brakes take a bit of time to come off. So we're heading to Mountain View, which is about 4 k's away. A little bit more throttle. Now, in terms of graphics, this game wins. In terms of the user interface, Train Simulator definitely. This, of course, looks a lot more realistic. So we'll give it a little bit more power. We'll go into 8 notch. Now the speed limit's still 100. Well, speed limit just about to be 127. So we only go via Mountain View, 69 kilometres an hour, nice. So we're in full throttle basically. So okay, we're coming to an emergency stop. Wait for the train to come to a complete stop. So I probably shouldn't be throttling at this stage. Let's see what's it gonna tell me to do here.
To recover the train from this situation, the controls must first be reset.
Reverser into neutral.
Use the independent brake to hold the train while air for the automatic brake is recharged.
So the independent brake is for application. Release the automatic brake because the automatic brakes have gone into emergency. You should be in release, you are.
The train has reset, so it is possible to get moving again.
Okay, so reverser to forward. Independent brake to release because we've recharged the automatic brakes by now. Release.
Return to line speed as before and get ready to stop at the next station.
Okay, stop at location, Mountain View. So Mountain View is 2.4 kilometres away, so I've got time to throttle up. Now, of course, nothing beats actual road knowledge, and in the real situation or in a real simulator, you wouldn't have these little markers telling you, oh, the station that you need to stop at is 2 kilometres away. That sort of stuff. So we've still got 69 kilometres an hour, nice. 1.8 kilometres to go. We should think about shutting off soon. So we should probably throttle back. Go to complete idle. So we put a little bit of brake on. I have to go into service position, start to pull it up. It's sounds like we're throttling up, but we're slowing down. So we're in a good position now. We'll probably come in.
Remember to apply the brakes early and gently so as to provide a comfortable ride for passengers.
I've come to a complete stop. maybe I broke too early or for too long. Start think about throttling back now. Have to make sure that we're actually idling and not. So this is a disadvantage. Like while I'm doing this with the mouse, I can't actually see the platform. So I lose a little bit of situational awareness, and I've come in too slow.
Well done! Practice makes perfect. Give a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Yeah, well, I need to actually release the brakes. I probably shouldn't burn 6 notch. So I need to be further up that platform before I can be safe and open the doors. But this is an experience thing. You know, the controls are correct in, you know, where they are and everything like that. But in terms of the actual user interface, so that's not going to be too bad. So if we unlock the doors, and then we
Good
have a
work.
look.
That concludes all the basics of this locomotive. More details on the controls of this locomotive can be found in the manual.
I earned a gold medal. I don't know why. Never went over the speed limit. Never really got close to the speed limit. Overall level 8, Peninsula corridor level 2, the loco level 2, and I earned a gold medal. I don't even know what I did to deserve that, but we did it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to continue our journey for a moment. Californian commuter, let's see what this is about. I haven't actually read how much of the physical route that you can do. When I drove this route in Train Simulator earlier, I made about 3 or 4 stops, and it took about an hour for the whole trip from San Francisco to San Jose. One of the criticisms that Train Sim World has had is that they, let's say hypothetically for this route, they'll promote the route, but you won't be able to drive all the route. Like the Bakerloo line that you can see on the screen there, the underground train, you'll be able to drive the entire route. The high-speed German train, the ICE next to it, you won't be able to drive the whole route when that's released, because the whole route is just too long. Can we drive this whole route from San Francisco to San Jose? I don't think so. But we will see that now, and the developers have explained it. Welcome to Millbrae, a terminus. Oh, so no one is going to talk to me now. So we haven't even gone into San Francisco yet. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, so open the door. As I said, I don't see how, but here we are. Now I will close the door. That mistake last time. There we go. Sit in the seat, E. Unlock the doors for all the passengers. Alright. So the loco is on. So we've just jumped in the seat. Everything's running. We're not getting it ready from a cold start. So we'll have a quick look outside as we are loading the passengers. Back in the cab. Just waiting for our passengers to finish loading. So our throttle is at idle. Our dynamic brake is off. We don't really have to worry about the dynamic brake at this point. The reverser we need to put in. We need to lock our doors. We need to put our reverser in and to forward. We need to release the brake. Apply some throttle. Notch 3. We just had the brakes released then. Automatic brakes do take a little bit of time to release compared to electric brakes. So we're stopping at San Mateo in about 6 minutes. So we'll have time to throttle up. Now I don't think we should go straight into notch 8 or 8 notch at this point. So the train is highly detailed. I must give Train Sim all of their cabs that I've been in are heavily detailed. There are things that this train can do with a more modern game engine that Train Simulator can't. Well, now we can go into 8 notch. We've got some speed up. So green light ahead, that's good for us. 69 kilometres an hour, 127 kilometres an hour is the speed limit at the moment. As I mentioned earlier, I haven't gone and put it back into miles per hour. Let's have a look outside, see how we're going. I might just move the camera around, and it's looking pretty sweet. See the amount of detail that's around, and you know, I don't usually drive like this, but I thought it would be nice just to have a look at the locomotive and have a look at the train and have a look at the surroundings from the exterior view like this. Go back in the cab. We've still got quite an amount of time, about 4 kilometres before our next stop. We are approaching the speed limit, so probably time to back off on the throttle slightly. Certainly not idling by any stretch of the imagination at the moment. H for horn, no, not sure what the horn, don't know all the controls yet, so quite happily in 5 knots at the moment. Lots of level crossings. Lots of intermediate stations. We're not stopping at all the stations. We're just going and servicing the major stations by the looks of this. 1.9 kilometres to go. We should probably start to throttle back a little bit at this point. Don't want to be coming into the station too hot. We should probably be idling right about now, and a little bit of brake to start with. Put a little bit of brake on, see how the brakes are holding up. Might need to give it just a little bit more brake at this point. Go into the service position. We can always back off if required. Still feels like we're coming in way too fast. There's the station. I can back off the brakes a little bit, a lot. We are idling, so I have come in. Probably should have hit the platform doing about 50. I've stopped short. Lucky it's me controlling the doors and not old mate down the back. But that's a timing thing. Locomotives and locomotive haul trains are harder to stop than multiple units. Come on. We're stopped on the level crossing. That's not ideal, but the advantage of having a locomotive is that we've got all the passenger doors on the platform. Not the best station approach. We do have that little bit extra platform to work with. The fact that we've got the locomotive on the front. Not ideal to be sitting across the level crossing like that, but we did stop at the station. Jump back in the cab. The doors. We can knock our brakes off. We've started to power. Go into 3 knots. The brakes will take a little bit of time to come off. Power coming on slowly. And 4 kilometres to our next station at Hillsdale. Okay, we can start to apply some more power now. haven't plugged in my controller yet, which might make driving this a little bit easier, but that's a problem for future Simulated Erk. Using the mouse and the keyboard isn't ideal. It's certainly a lot easier if you do have the controls in front of you and you don't have to worry about turning your head, or if you're new to keyboard shortcuts, I don't have to worry about turning my head to activate things such as the brakes or the throttle. Picking up a nice rate of speed now, 100 kilometres an hour there. Passing through another station in low-level platforms. I should also mention, just in case you haven't seen the train simulator video that I did of the same route, this route's actually in the process of being electrified and receiving new electric trains, and the platforms. Some of the platforms will be raised, but the new trains will have two sets of doors at different heights, and only the correct height will open apparently. So I should think about putting some brake on rather soon. So we're in the service position now. Should be idling. Let's see how we're doing. A little bit more brake. No. This is unrealistic. I wouldn't have thought that I recovered that well. So we will unlock our doors. And let's see, where did we pull up? Well, we pulled up with a set of passenger doors off the platform, which of course isn't ideal. I thought from the speed that I was doing halfway down to the platform to the speed I pulled up at, that did not feel realistic. That did not feel realistic at all. Now, I don't know if these trains got selective door opening. I didn't even know until a few minutes ago that the driver actually controlled all the doors, but according to this, they do. There's a conductor on board as well. So we can lock our doors. Let's get back in the cab. Now, obviously, in real life, we'd have the option of opening the window, but we can't see it anyway. We've got a mirror. We'll close the window. Alright, where are we going now? We'll release the brake. 3 knots power. San Carlos in nearly 5k's time. Brakes starting to come off. 3 knots of power. It's one of our counterparts coming in the opposite direction. Push-pull mode these trains. So in that case, the locomotive is pushing and doing all the work with the driver or engineer up the front. It can be a little bit uncomfortable push-pull with the locomotive doing the pushing. having the electric trains will make this ride so much better. The acceleration and the braking abilities that electric trains have an electric multiple units compared to diesel loco haul trains, with the line being electrified, which is in progress April, August 2020. Fantastic for the line. So we go into 8 knots now at a decent amount of speed. You can actually feel, you actually see the rocking. You know, locomotives and trains do move from side to side, so you can sort of get that feeling of the swaying that you can get on a train, which is good. Got 2.6 kilometres to go. There's another station coming up that we're not stopping at. Decent rate of speed, just over 100 kilometres an hour at the moment. A few elevated platforms, but the platforms themselves aren't very high. Now I have to work out, and in real life you'd have landmarks and everything that you know that you should be shutting off power. So I'm in 8 knots at the moment, so I probably shouldn't be. Now just reducing the throttle will help a lot. Should be going into the service position at this point and shutting off, going into idle. Let's see how we're going. We're still going 100 kilometres an hour. There's no way that I should be pulling up at the right spot, even in the full service position. Hitting the platform at just about 60 kilometres an hour. We might actually be doing okay here. Might have to just back off the brake just a tad, or a little bit more than a tad, and just move up a little bit, wait for the brakes to come off, make sure the brakes are off. Brakes coming off now. There's a yellow line there for a reason, UNPC. Come on, I should be able to, the brakes are released. Now it's saying that I'm in a great position. Now I'm in 8 knots here. I don't understand. That's ran forward. I'm in 8 knots. There's no way. I should have just been powering through that station. But once we unlock the doors, well, I'm mostly off, about half a train on, about 2 carriages off. I still don't think that that's necessarily realistic for the speed that I was doing to pull up where I pulled up. From the speed that I was hitting the platform at and to where I finished up, I don't think that's realistic, but especially for a diesel train, a loco haul train. So we've got the back end, 2 cars off the platform there, quite easy. You can see that quite graphically. And I don't understand why it wouldn't let me move up and get into the correct position. So I'll get back into the cab. Unlock the doors. Alright. Redwood City is our next stop. So the brakes were released. So 3 notches in throttle. So the brakes aren't even on. So we should be able to power at this point, and I don't know why we can't. The doors are locked. Dynamic brake we haven't even touched. Throttle 8 notch. We'll go back to idle. Reverser in forward. We'll put the brakes on. So we'll take our brakes off. Throttle up. Brakes are releasing now. And this is why I get frustrated with this. Because I'm doing everything that we were supposed to do, and now all of a sudden I don't know why. Automatic brake released. It says we haven't had some sort of penalty, have we? Let's go back to throttle idle. Reverser in neutral. Did it think we went into emergency or something? Independent brake. Full application. Automatic brake released. Reverser into forward. Throttle to notch 3. Independent brake off. Automatic brake off. And I don't understand why we're not moving. Hang on to these. 0 speed, and thank you Captain Obvious. 0 speed, doors are closed according to that. Independent brake full application. Automatic brakes. We'll go into service, try and recharge everything. Throttle back to idle. So we're just building. Okay. Independent brake released. Automatic brake off. And we're starting to move. Sometimes that's what you need to do. You just need to reset everything. Just think about what's going on. What are the brakes doing? What's the throttle doing? What's the reverser doing? And we got there. So So 3.5 kilometres away before our next station. Redwood City is a place for me. Da, 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 da. See, we've got a flashing yellow signal coming up. I don't know what a flashing yellow signal is supposed to be. Got another flashing yellow signal coming up in 1.8 kilometres apparently. Another one of our colleagues heading in the opposite direction. Give him a wave. Let's see how we can do this time. Redwood City next. Redwood City limits. Is there a dance? Redwood City limits. Nutbush. I always get confused between Nutbush and bus stop. I always stand behind somebody hot and hopefully they know the dance, because I've got no idea which. I know they're different dances, but I've got no idea which is which until I actually start doing it or watching someone else do it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I should be doing. Redwood City limits. So we are just about a kilometre away from the station now. We are still going rather hot, so we should start putting some brake on. Our next signal's at stop. I don't want to be passing that one. We'll go into the lap position. We can totally shut off now. A little bit more brake. And let's see, we're still doing 100 kilometres an hour when we hit the platform. 95 hit the platform at 95. There's no way this train should be pulling up anywhere near as quickly. And we have, I would like to think we've overshot. Are we going to pass that signal at stop? Just pulled up just before that signal. This is Redwood City that goes by the slogan, by government test, our climate is best. Oh really? And as you can see, we have pulled up with 2 carriages off the platform. Which in this game seems to be okay. Yeah, so I haven't quite got the braking distances quite figured out yet. I got the basic principle of it, but just when I should actually be braking in this train. As I mentioned, in the real world you'd have landmarks and everything like that. The landmarks that you get to know. Do certain things at certain landmarks according to what speed you're doing. But on this occasion I'm still learning this particular train. We are 2.5 carriages off the platform. But we didn't go through the red signal. That's all for now. This service will continue to San Jose. So I can't go to San Jose. Alright, how did I do? We've hit Peninsula Corridor level 3, me level 8, Loco level 3, and I earned a silver medal. I don't know what for. Stops weren't really that good, but we knew that. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. I've been Simulated Erk. You've been wonderful. Don't forget to stay behind the yellow line and stay out of the rail corridor. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.